Hi guys, I'm Lauren Veneziani McCarthy.
And I'm Kevin McCarthy, and we are married film critics who review movies once a week here on this YouTube channel you're watching, and we're here to do Deadpool 2 this week. I don't know if you guys can see my pants. I got my Deadpool pants on.
With the unicorn, actually.
Unicorn and maximum effort, and my wife obviously has her Deadpool shirt, which just came in the mail from Amazon, so thank you.
Yeah, which, like, I wasn't expecting it to come until next week, but I put it on for this. And if you follow either Kevin and I on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you'll know that we're massive Deadpool fans.
Yeah.
Now, you know, to be honest, not really fans of the comic book at first, but then loved the first film with Ryan Reynolds that came out 2 years ago. Could not wait for the sequel, so we are very avid Deadpool fans.
I saw the first one 9 times. My wife did as well. 2016 is my #1 film of that year, to kind of give you a gauge of where we are with how much we love Deadpool. So the second one, obviously, David Leitch coming in to direct this. Tim Miller directed the first film. The beauty of the first movie, obviously, was the idea of necessity is the mother of invention, and what they were able to do with a lower budget for a superhero film of $58 million compared to most superhero films, which are made for over $200 million. And just the idea, the jokes they wrote in order to show that they didn't have the budget, like the idea of having less X-Men, the idea of Deadpool leaving his bag.
So funny.
Yeah, the idea of Deadpool leaving his bag in the back of the taxi because he can't do the shootout at the end because that was a budgetary.
More money, right?
That was a joke written in because they couldn't afford the shootout. So that kind of stuff is really, really cool in the first one. We loved that.
And I just love the origin story of obviously seeing Wade Wilson becoming Deadpool. The villains in the first one, Ed Skrein and Gina Carano, were absolutely amazing. And I love the actress that plays Vanessa, his girlfriend, Marina. She's amazing, and I love, they have such great chemistry. And I think Deadpool 2, like, there's even more of an emotional core this second time around.
Yeah, I mean, just to get it out of the way, I think Deadpool 2 is a better film than Deadpool 1. And what I mean by that is I don't mean to dismiss the quality of Deadpool 1 by saying that. I just think that it improves on what I already loved in Deadpool 1 from a comedy standpoint, a drama standpoint, but also an action standpoint. When you throw someone like David Leitch into the mix of a director, you're using a guy who's a famous stunt double in Hollywood, has been doing this for 2 decades. And, you know, prior to becoming a filmmaker, he was a stunt double to Brad Pitt in Fight Club and Troy. He was Hugo Weaving's stunt double in the Matrix films.
So cool.
So to me, that's what makes this action feel more immersive and more real, is because you have a filmmaker who legitimately understands choreography and doing long takes of action to, you know, because the viewers are paying lots of money. We're seeing it again tonight. We paid $20 a ticket.
Yeah.
I want to be immersed in that action and not know that there's all these quick cuts and bad choreography.
Right. No, and the stunt work is amazing in this one. And I have seen Deadpool 2 twice now. I saw it once last week at the press screening here in DC. Kevin and I went to the New York premiere on Monday and saw it, and I'm seeing it again Friday. And, you know, I gave Infinity War a 5 out of 5, but I like Deadpool 2 even more. I don't know what that means, but it's just like, it's, when I left the film last week on Thursday, I texted Kevin, I was like, the film is so great, and it's just as good as the first one, but, like, it's different in that, like, it improves upon the story in the way, and there's just, like, this, even though it's, like, an hard R-rated, very violent, very funny superhero comedy, there's this really beautiful, it sounds corny, but, like, beautiful emotional core to the film about family that I just absolutely loved, and there was times where I just really got teary-eyed in the film, which is what I don't think we had as much of in the first one, obviously, because it's an origin story and it's different. We just watched some of the first one again last night. It's just different in a good way. Yeah,
it reminds me of that tone that Quentin Tarantino finds, and I only say that because Tarantino films are ultra-violent. They're extremely violent films, specifically something like A True Romance, which he wrote and Tony Scott directed. But at the core of all the craziness, the bad language, the vulgarity, the violence, is a love story. And Deadpool's obviously a much different type of movie than a Tarantino film, but I compare it that way because I think people are shocked when they hear that a Deadpool film is super emotional because of how crazy it is. But, I mean, genuinely, the first movie opens up, he says, this is a love story. This particular film is a movie about family. And I was laughing so hard I was crying, specifically in a sequence that deals with legs. I won't give anything away, but that scene is hilarious.
Yes.
And then there were genuine scenes where I had tears in my eyes. I looked over at my wife, and specifically a sequence that happens towards the end, which I won't say what it is, but it is a very
so good.
well done scene. So on top of that, to me, it improves. Even though the first one did have a great heart to it, this one is a lot more deeply emotional for me. I guess personally, I think they did a great job. With also the beauty of what Leitch does here with Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, I want to give those guys a shout out because they're phenomenal writers. And Ryan Reynolds actually got a screenwriting credit. Yeah, but you have to understand how hard it is to shift tones in a film like this and to jump from extremely crazy, dark, violent stuff to comedic stuff and flipping back and forth. This movie genuinely takes itself seriously at times and then goes back to being this like fourth wall breaking. Yeah, so that to me is a hard thing to do, and they do it well.
Yeah, but I agree, and I cannot wait to see it again. But we definitely want to talk about some of like the new characters in this film. Josh Brolin as Cable.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, Cable's amazing. Brolin's having the best year ever.
Is having like the best year ever. And like if you haven't watched Kev's interviews with the Deadpool cast, it's like Josh Brolin is like one of my favorite actors Kevin interviews because he's so fun with him. But in the movie as Cable, he's so good as Cable, and I don't want to give anything away too much of the character, but also Zazie Bates.
Yeah, and that's an interesting. By the way, I've been saying Zazie Beetz for over a year when she got cast back in March 2017. But when I walked in to speak with her, she said that it's actually Zazie and then Bates. It's not Bates, but it's like it's a mixture between Beats and Bates. If you find that in the middle, she's German. So she's amazing as Domino.
So good.
I think she's fantastic in the film. To me, the standout character was Cable. And I think Zazie's Domino character is amazing. I think they could have had more of her doing action scenes because she is such a great character. I actually want to go back and learn more about Domino and the initial element of where she comes from and her background, because I think they could make a Domino movie, but she does great with what she has on screen. But Cable, Brolin's so great in the film. I mean, Reynolds, we already know he's great as Deadpool.
Amazing.
A lot of Wade Wilson stuff out of the mask this time.
Definitely more. Yeah, you'll definitely see him doing more fighting and action sequences without the costume on, where you're seeing his face, which I actually really liked, because in the first Deadpool we really only see Ryan Reynolds' face like at the very beginning when he's not like scarred yet.
Well, there's like I rewatched the first Deadpool last night. It's a good amount of
but this one's even more in the sequel, right?
Yeah. And I think that the thing about the first one, Tim Miller, who's a great director, and it was an interesting thing seeing him leave, and then or whatever happened behind the scenes there, and then Leitch come on. David Leitch is honestly one of the best filmmakers working today. Co-directed the first John Wick and Atomic Blonde, and now he's doing the Hobbs and Shaw film with The Rock and Statham, which is going to be awesome. But I think that it was a great move because it really improved the action. Miller came from VFX, so Miller was a visual effects artist. So with that lower budget, you were still able to mess with things and tweak things. I mean, look at the opening credits of the Deadpool 1 was so well done with the slow-mo.
The opening credits of this one are also amazing.
And we want to keep these shorter, so we do want to say a couple things about the ending credits. Don't let anybody spoil it for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this movie has a lot of spoiler qualities about it that I wasn't even aware of going in, so definitely see it right away. Should have mentioned at the beginning that this is a spoiler-free review. We don't want to give anything away from anyone. But it's like we definitely stay, through the credits to see everything, because it's not only a post-end credits, it's like legitimately part of the movie and the story.
And there's two of them, and the first one's very short, and the other one is the really one you want to see. So don't get up after the first one ends. It's super quick, but the second one's the one you want to watch. If you really have to get to your car, there is nothing at the end of the credits, but to me it's always important to sit through those anyways, because one, you get to hear the score
and this new song and stuff.
Well, that and also you get to watch the names of people who made this movie. It's a lot of people who go.
Yeah.
And I do want to shout out Bill Corso, the makeup artist who worked on Domino and Cable and Ryan's character Wade with Scars. He's a brilliant makeup artist and effects artist, and you know, it's really well done. There's like sequences where Deadpool's running in the rain with his mask off, and I don't know how that David Leitch pulled that off, and not having the makeup run and stream down his face. But it's very well done.
And I will say, this will be your second time tonight. I wonder if Sasse's gonna like stand out more.
Oh, I loved it. It's
because like for me, like I just thought she was such a badass female character.
She's great.
And in the comic book, she's white with like a black circle around her eye, and this one they kind of do it differently, and I literally can't see anybody else in this role.
And it's weird.
So I would have liked to even have seen more of her, and I agree with Kevin, but like she was definitely a standout.
And it's weird, like I remember seeing an interview with Zazie on I think it was either Good Morning America or Today Show, whichever the one Michael Strahan's on, and he brought up the fact that her character was white in the comics. That's actually not true. Zazie actually corrected him, which I didn't know this until I watched that interview, that the character was not assigned a race whatsoever in the comics. But in the movie, yes, it's you know, the character is obviously she looks different than she does in the comics.
Yeah.
So that became a whole thing. But Zazie actually said that the character of Domino did not have an assigned
a definitive race.
Yeah. But yeah, she's amazing. I mean, again, when I watched it, she was great in every scene she was in. I just, in my mindset, I would be like, I want to know more about her, and I wish maybe she had a couple more scenes, but to me, everything was balanced perfectly, so there's no complaints whatsoever with that. I mean, I think
really
she's great.
fun, and we can't wait. I'm going to see it for a third time. I'm going to end up seeing this movie more than Kevin is, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing movie. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It's my third 5 out of 5 of 2017 so far.
I know. I texted Kevin earlier today, and I was like, which one do you like more, Ready Player One or Deadpool 2? And he's like, I need to see Deadpool 2 again to make my final decision.
Yeah, I don't know yet, because
I think Deadpool 2 is my favorite movie of the year so far.
We Ready Player One and Deadpool 2, I guess
Infinity War.
Both heavily rely on references and nostalgia, so I think both of those kind of hit a sweet spot for me.
There's so many movie references in Deadpool 2, though. Like, literally so many. I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it was a lot more movie references even than compared to the first one, I think.
Yeah, Ready Player One's my number 1 with Deadpool right there. I'm going to choose tonight after I see it for the second time. And then Infinity War is my number 3. I do think Deadpool 2 is a better film than Infinity War, but they're both 5 out of 5s in my book. And
me too.
Do recommend seeing it. And I know it sounds crazy that they were able to make a better film than the first Deadpool, but in my opinion they did. So
yeah, he wanted to come up and see us.
That's our dog Oscar.
Yeah. All right, yeah, we will. Well, we're gonna let you go because we're gonna go and see Deadpool 2 again. And thank you for watching. 5 out of 5 for Deadpool 2 for me. Love it. Love Ryan Reynolds. Bye.